Of my sorrows, paper eyes flying. Tell everyone yes, but don't tell them when. That's why you said to me, that's why I live in sorrow. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmaster, guess, everybody. There are cliches and realities. Each culture moves among them like a fish in the sea. Other cultures choose to believe in them or not. There comes a time when they become part of what we like or hate about ourselves or about others. But let's stop and review some of the cliches I have learned throughout my life about how we Mexicans are. And we are used to listen to things like this. We are lazy. We live in the desert, in small towns of half-destroyed wooden houses and face sandy winds and a lot of heat under a sepia sky. We wear pique hats, sarapes, and mustache in the style of the time of revolution. Napping is unforgivable. We talk like Speedy Gonzalez. We are all short, dark skinned, and serval. We are late everywhere. We eat everything with chili and tequila. We are exotic. And we don't dare to say no. We don't dare to say no. Let's stick with this cliche and review where it comes from. Have you ever run into a friend that you haven't seen for a while walking on the street? You encounter this person, greet each other effusively, and suggest to go for a coffee or a chela, chela beer, some time to catch up on each other's lives. And you both say to each other, sure, yeah, I'll call you, let me see if I can do it, I think so, and a long, etc. phrases that are a disguised no. Neither intends to meet with the other, but they don't say it to each other directly, openly. Instead, they say yes to each other, but they don't say when. Just as the song, El Son de la Negra, that says, Negrita of my sorrows, paper eyes flying, tell everyone yes, but don't tell them when. That's what you said to me, that's what I live in sorrow. And there are several theories about this. For example, this part of Mexican culture, it's the way of saying yes with the meaning of no, and we are experts. For example, the anthropologist and sociologist Bartra says that it is a complicated issue because not all Mexicans, of course, are that way. And it varies depending on the region and of the social class, among other things, of course. But there is a cultural substratum, possibly of indigenous origin, especially in central Mexico and on the west, meaning here, that establishes certain forms of politeness, and for which it is not very polite to say no openly. For those who say no, means a confrontation with their interlocutor. And this comes from colonial times, she says, or he says, partly. During the colony, there was a profound disparity where the tradition of indigenous courtesy that was confronted with a brutal domination. The submissive and servant always had to say yes or if we notice, this indicates that we are not dealing with a single Mexican culture, but we deal with many mini Mexicos. And there is another theory about this by a psychologist called Stella. He says that there is a great inequality between those who hold authority and those who follow it. And it's not in families. For example, we have someone, the machismo says it's our dad, but in truth it's our grandma and then our mothers who hold the authority at home. Whatever she says is what it's done. And we submit, we obey, and we respect that hierarchy. And the same psychology says that we are more attached to collectivism than individualism. So about saying no or avoiding saying no, it's an adaptive solution. Being ambiguous, and I'm going to give you examples. Delaying the resolution serves to avoid hurting the sensitivity of the group because it is very important to all of us to be together. On the other hand, the anthropologist Elvira Campos says that there are two ways Mexicans use to say without saying no openly. For example, if you receive an invitation and you cannot accept it or don't want to, or you have to do, they ask you for a favor and you don't want to do it or you can't, the first thing to do is to leave it ambiguous. Let's say, for example, if they call you, there is a party, you should come, I'll call you, I'm not really sure, or, yeah, sure, let's make a plan. That would be the first part. You say, you never use the word no, you say, I'll tell you, I'll see, let me think, let me see, let me think, I have a see, let me check my agenda, etc. And then the second way is the nuance, to make it softer. So we give an explanation. For example, I have homework, I have a lot of work, I haven't slept well, I don't know, probably I won't be able to do it this time. Or you say yes, and a few minutes before the meeting, you call and say, I'm sorry, I'm not going to be able to go, if you call. And this is very common. We see it every day. It is combined, to make it worse, with Mexican time. Of course, Mexican time, Chinese time.
Mañana.
Mañana, for example. Oh, yeah. And Mexican time, for example, it's combined with the arrivals, late arrivals, or non-arrivals at all. And also the word ahorita, that has no place in time, but in space. So also Mexicans hold courtesy and good manners in high esteem. This is very important to us. But politeness implies contradicting the other as little as possible and doing one's best to agree with him. This is just the primary form of the use of that, of the high politeness. So these theoreticals say that we are good with the language when we want to be polite, and we are very sophisticated in communication that way, because we will say yes, meaning no, and you're going to say thank you in the end. So now, this thing does not only exist in Mexico, it exists in other countries. I mean, the use of the phrase that you see the words, but it means the opposite. So, for example, when you don't want a vendor close to you and you say, no gracias, they will insist. But if you only say gracias, you will notice magically they go away. And it happens a lot. But returning to Mexican and Spanish, I want to end with another example of another Mexican song that reflects our idiosyncrasy. And it is from Jose Alfredo Jimenez songs. For those Mexicans, I hope you understand, because he's going to say, I'm going to say it in English. It says, I got tired of begging her. I got tired of telling her that without her, I die of grief. The woman, in this case, never answered Jose Alfredo, said one of the